What's one thing that you'd say to traders who are on the verge of hitting burnout?
Sometimes it isn't the strategy. Sometimes it isn't you. It's what you're trading. And that's been my key takeaway, I think, this year.
I think most traders probably go through that point of like, oh, is this even working? Ultimately, you are going to be exposed for the person that you truly are to like the core. Like you will have to deal with emotions that you didn't know that you had to deal with.
Your outside life will show on your trading 10 times more. So if you have a crap outside life, like don't come to the charts and try and make money. I feel like one of the biggest problems that we face in this trading industry is that a lot of people don't see the negatives in trading. What's like one of the biggest hurdles that you've experienced negatively, like online, trading, just your experience in general?
I think it's a culmination of so many different things. Like, because I've been in the industry for over a decade, I've seen so many different things. I've been through so many different things. And I feel like I've experienced every possible hurdle that a trader is going to come across. I think coming into this industry as a new trader, you obviously come into it from seeing like the flashy lifestyles, the freedom, and that's what people want. But I think it's so detrimental for people to come into this type of industry and having that expectation without really knowing the reality of what trading comes with. So most people don't talk about the fact that you're going to have FOMO, you're going to experience a lot of greed, and ultimately you are going to be exposed for the person that you truly are to like the core. Like you will have to deal with emotions that you didn't know that you had to deal with. And I think people need to start being more open. And obviously this is why we're having this conversation of there are a lot of detrimental things that we go through as traders, and our mindset is absolutely imperative to our success. So I think one of the worst things that I've had to deal with is probably revenge trading. And I think that just comes from me having such a big ego and wanting to be right all of the time. And that has been something that even up until now, I've had to consistently work on. So I think it is a culmination of different things, but that has been the biggest thing for me. What about you?
I think ego is definitely the highest thing as a trader, especially like it being more male dominated. Like men are striving off of ego, wanting to be better than others. And I think the number one thing that I've learned for myself is it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, you've just got to be yourself. Because when I first started, I was afraid to be like online, I've made $10 or pounds, I've made 60 or 100, because you feel like a small fish in a big pond when people are posting £1,000 days. But if you can make £60 or $60, whatever it is you trade in, it's better than most people. Like most people have a savings account that don't even have interest. Like if you're making money, start getting out there. Like if you want to put yourself online, get yourself out there and don't worry about what people say, because I think being authentic in this industry is like the number one thing. And I think I was so worried about people judging me, like being an online face in the community, people judging me. And then I feel like that also just made me do like stupid rookie mistakes, like revenge trading, having FOMO. I'd watch other people and be like, I wouldn't like ever hate on anyone, but I'll be like, they've got it. And especially knowing that some people don't even have it, like, you know that they're frauds. It's like, they've got it, whereas I'm here really like putting in the hours. Like I'm going to bed tired. I'm waking up with red eyes because I've been sitting on the charts. I've been live watching these charts. I've been reading this book. Like I've been putting in the hours. And I think we need to remember that we are human and that there's bigger things going on in the world than trying to be better than someone else or trying to rush the process, because you can make great money as a trader, but if you're trying to rush the process, it's going to slow it down a lot quicker, I think.
Do you think traders and probably like social media traders in general glamorize consistency and like not speak about how draining it actually is to be a consistent trader?
Definitely. I feel like trading has got to be one of the most stressful things I've ever done in my careers. I genuinely think so, because you have mental burnout. And I don't think people speak about it enough. Like there's some people that speak about psychology, but I think the person you have to be able to be disciplined, consistent in your life, and not have mental breakdowns and burnouts as a trader, you've got to be a strong person. So I think ultimately your outside life will show on your trading 10 times more. So if you have a crap outside life, like, don't come to the charts and try and make money. Do you think the same?
Absolutely. Like I will always say, my outside life, it completely reflects in my trading. If I'm having a bad day, if I'm in a bad mood, like yesterday, for example, I messaged you and I was like, I'm in a really bad mood today. Don't really know why. A few things like start to kind of like, I don't know, you wake up in a bad mood and then one thing happens, another thing happens. It's like that, I feel like there's a name for it, but you know, like when you stub your toe on the corner.
Like the cycle of doom.
Yeah. So like one bad thing happens, then you just like, oh, and then another thing the bad thing happens, and it's just like a cycle of a bad day. So for days like that, like yesterday I didn't trade because I know I'm in a bad mood already. So if I take a loss, that's gonna piss me off, and then I'm more likely to revenge trade. I'm gonna be more pissed off at myself for trading when I knew I was in a bad mood and that wasn't great trading. But I think it is hard sometimes when you're a full-time trader, because sometimes you just want to feel something. I think sometimes looking back at the past, I don't think I do it as often now, but looking back at the past trader that I used to be, sometimes I would take a trade just to feel something. Like,
the adrenaline rush.
I don't really care either way it went. So if I hit stop loss, if it hits take profit, I just want to feel. Because I think as traders, we become so like engrossed in trading, and there's like outside world doesn't really exist. It's like all in trading. So I think sometimes it's just so important to understand that if you're having a bad day, if you're going through a bad phase of life, then it's probably just best to just stay away from the charts.
Most prop firms make you jump through 2 phases before you can even touch real capital. If you've got a solid strategy and you're confident in your trading, you do not need that. And this is why we like Equity Edge, because they have made the process easier for you guys that want to trade instantly. No challenges, no waiting, straight funding. Pick your account size, verify, and start trading immediately. You can scale, withdraw easily, and keep up to 90% of your profits. You can request a payout 14 days after your first trade. So if you're ready to skip the games and get instantly funded, click the link down below and join Equity Edge. When you've like lost a trade, what's like the worst thing you've done? Like, you know, you see people smashing up their laptops and stuff. What's the worst thing you've done?
I haven't really. I've never done anything that like hugely dramatic. I think the most dramatic thing I've probably done was throw my iPad at the wall, which I think everyone knows about the story of the dent in my wall from my iPad. It's probably the most dramatic thing I've done. What about you?
Probably just speaking to myself negatively. Like, you knew what was about to happen.
Okay, that's
like what you
normal,
doing.
yeah.
And just like hating myself for the whole day.
Yeah.
And blowing an account, probably I'd say.
Yeah, I've done that so many times.
But not, I wouldn't say from like, yes, a losing trade, but I feel like now I'm very strict with my rules. And I feel like I've come so far that like if I don't stick to rules, I'm an idiot.
Have you ever had a moment where you felt like just completely giving up with trading?
Yeah. Like last year, the end of last year, I was just in this battle with GJ, and I was like, I know where GJ is going. And it would go there, but it would also wick me out every time. And it's like, you're not making sense. And in those times, I weren't just doubting trading. Like, I was just doubting the markets. I was like, what is this? Like, I had that thing that, you know, you have at the first year. You're like, are you hunting my stop loss? Who's out to get me? This prop firm hates me. You think
the market makers are coming for you.
Yeah, I thought everything was against me, but actually it was just like, sometimes it isn't the strategy. Sometimes it isn't you. It's what you're trading. And that's been my key takeaway, I think, for this year.
I went through similar this year, to be honest. And I think that was just from anxiety more than anything. Like having such a huge high and then tilting to the floor and fucking it all up. Like, now I'm like, if I tilt, I can catch it. But I think because I'd had such a good run and it went to my head a little bit, the tilt just kept tilting because my ego was so in control and I was so sure that I was right. So then when I was actually wrong, when the market was just throwing me up the wall, I was like, bro, I don't even want to do this anymore because I've been right for this long. So why am I now wrong? And it was a really heavy mental battle. But I think part of it was also understanding the fact that I had a lot of internal trauma that I still hadn't dealt with. And that was kind of surfacing at that time as well. So I think it was a mixture of me tilting and kind of having a massive ego boost, but then also my body being like, wait a minute, you've got things that you need to deal with before you can actually reach that new level. So I think most traders probably go through that point of like, oh, is this even working? And maybe even when you've been in the industry for as long as I have, like, you will still have those moments. And I think it just kind of goes to show that we are human. And sometimes we just have to be a lot easier on ourselves and understand that when we are going through something, and leading back to the question of outside forces affecting trading, it just kind of all goes out hand in hand. Like, if you're having a shit day, don't trade. If you're going through something in life, don't trade. And if you feel yourself tilting, catch it and just completely take a break.
What's something you've had to unlearn as a trader?
Unlearn. Maybe just bad habits. Yeah, it's just unlearning those bad habits. I think one of the main things for me is taking trades that don't exactly fit my strategy, but my subconscious knowing that I've seen it before. Because a lot of time that will work, but then sometimes it won't work. But then because you do it so many times, you get into the habit of it. And it's hard then to just fully focus on your strategy. So yeah, there's a lot of things, but I think the main thing is sticking to your strategy, your risk management plan, and just having the discipline to do that. I think that's the main thing for traders. What's one thing that you'd say to traders who are on the verge of hitting burnout?
Take a step back. Don't trade. And it's so hard to not trade. I've been there, and you've definitely been there. You say to yourself, I'm not going to trade, then you see an A-star set up and you're like, I need to get in that trade. But genuinely taking that break and like mentally resetting, I think, is so important to a trader's mindset to be able to actually make money as a trader.
Do you know what? I absolutely agree. And I think this year was actually the first time I took an actual break from trading. So the entire year, obviously I had a great first quarter. Second quarter was absolutely shit. And then third quarter, obviously we came into summer. I still was trying to trade through summer. I think I blew 2 accounts during summer. And then end of August, beginning of September, I took like a month off. And I remember saying to you, like, I'm going to trade this week. Like, next week I'm back to trading. But then next week would come and I was like, nah, I don't feel like trading. And it was so hard to actually get back into trading.
But it's so good that you actually had the resilience to like not trade.
But it almost got me to the point of like, I actually don't want to trade again.
It's so mentally draining.
It was so peaceful. And then, but I think to be honest, now I am back to trading, I'm not allowing it to give me that anxiety that it used to do. So now I'm a lot more disciplined with it. I feel like I can always do better on my discipline. Like, discipline is always going to be one thing that I struggle with, and which is why I'm so big on my morning routine, because that helps me get back into that discipline. But discipline is definitely something that I struggle with. But now I've taken that break and come back, I feel like I'm just managing it easier. So I think taking a break for traders, it can go one or two ways. You'll either take a break, love it so much and just say, I don't even want to trade anymore. Or you're going to come back to the charts, complete fresh mindset and kill it, I think.
It's crazy as well, because I just feel like Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, I have the nicest, most peaceful like rest.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, even if I'm having like a very good like winning streak, I win 3 trades in the week, I'm still like mentally like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, checking trading view. Where's the trade at? Like, is market changing? It's too much for my brain. I just think a trader has to have the emotional awareness to be able to like foresee actual success as a trader.
Absolutely. You have to have that delusion of like, I am going to become rich as fuck from trading.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why are we doing this?
Why are you doing it? Yeah.
It's actual mental torture. And I think it's made me realise as well how torturous trading is, no matter what stage you are at your career. From a conversation I had with an institutional trader, and he's done everything from starting as a runner on a trading floor and being abused by the traders to becoming a market maker. So he's gone from like one extreme to the other.
No way.
And he says he doesn't actively trade anymore because he's had too many mental breakdowns from trading. And that is someone who has been at the top of the game, institutional level, known worldwide, and them telling me that they don't trade anymore because of the mental breakdowns was such a huge wake-up call for me that, do you know what, as traders, we actually shouldn't be so harsh on ourselves, especially Forex traders, because Forex is the hardest thing to trade. Like, compared to stocks or commodities, anything like that, Forex is the hardest thing to trade.
No, I definitely agree, because I do think, like, when I was trading Forex, looking back, like, I was just so mentally drained. Like, I just think, yeah, like, I'd have good wins and stuff, but it's nothing like what I've had this year. Like, trading indices, I do think that Forex is, there's a lot of rewards to reap, but I think there's also a lot of emotional turmoil that comes with it. But again, I feel like with trading indices, I'm taking heavier losses than I would on Forex. So again, it just depends on where you're at in your journey, because like you said, everyone has problems. The best traders we know, the traders that are new, a new trader might have a different problem to a long-term trader, but we might have problems of, oh, we're not risking this amount, we're losing thousands now. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone new might be like, this strategy's not working for me. So we all face different issues, and I think it's just about really sticking it out and just believing in yourself.
I think it's all dependent on personality as well. Like, we are all different people.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to understand that, like yes, we trade very similar, but we also trade very differently.
We have
and
different lives.
Exactly. We live different lives. We have different personalities. So I think people need to understand that that is a thing. Like, you can't expect to have the same strategy as someone else, have the same entries and everything, because it's just not possible. We're all different.
We can learn from the same person. We could look at the chart at the exact same time, but we have different minds.
100%.
We have different lives. Like, we're going to have different risk tolerances. Like, we're just different people. And I think that's definitely something, like I said at the start, something I struggled with at the start, like comparing myself to people, because everyone's different. Like, it's you versus you.
Facts. Big up Dan Chung. But I think this is why these conversations are so important to have, especially for new traders coming into the industry, because you're going to be sold a dream of this is going to be your life, learn this strategy and you're going to get rich, when in reality, it's not that easy. You're going to have to go through the mud. Like, you're going to have to get dragged through the trenches in order to see success. And I think more people just need to start talking about that.
So what would 3 like tips be for a newbie in this industry?
Understand that when you feel those negative emotions, when you feel the greed, the fear, the FOMO, that is very normal. And that is something that you need to push through. You need to work on your discipline, 1000%. Discipline is probably the biggest thing. And I think 99% of trader success, if you can be disciplined in your outside life, that will directly affect your trading, which will obviously help you stick to your trading rules and not deter. I think the third thing is definitely going to be find a mentor who you like and listen to everything that they say and do everything that they say in the early days. And then as you learn that strategy, backtest, journal, and modify that to fit you, your personality, and your lifestyle as well.
I'm going to add 2 onto that as well. I'm going to say, 1, especially at the start, like, small consistent profits outweigh one big trade, because one big trade could be one big loss. So small consistent profits, like, learn to have discipline, consistency, even if you're taking small trades, 100%. And secondly, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, for real, don't compare yourself to no one in this game, because it's you versus you.
And most people are full of shit anyway.
Yeah, exactly, as we know.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like these type of conversations is what people need to tune into us more for, because we're trying to, give the listeners and the viewers what we wish we had at the start of our journeys. And I feel like if I had someone to listen to that weren't just a mentor, that was like someone going through the same experiences as me, I think that would have helped me in my trading journey a lot more.
Absolutely agree.
So I think for anyone at home, we are going to be posting every single Thursday. Sometimes we're going to just do solo episodes like this, or we're going to have guests. So if you're not already, subscribe. Comment down below as well, like, your favourite point in this episode and anything that you may be struggling with, because we can do an episode on that to help you. Who knows? And we'll give you a little shout out as well. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Take care and stay blessed.